YouTube, the Enemy6 here. Today I'll be showing you a new deck that I have been testing out, and a lot of people, or when I first started, I used a zombie deck because it was pretty easy to get, and all the cards came in one set, or most of the cards came in one set, so it's pretty easy to use. And let's get started. 1 Endless Decay. This is for a special summon if you have 2,000 or less life points. And when it is summoned, it will gain the half of your opponent's life. So if you don't attack them, it gains 4,000 attack. So that's really good. I'll run 3 Lila, just for the milling, and I can target one spell or trap and destroy it on my opponent's side. 3 Mizuki. This is totally broken. If your opponent uses Dark Hole, Torrential Tribute, or anything to negate the summon, it goes straight to the grave, and then you can still summon from the grave with that. And it's totally broken at 3. 1 Neospecian Grandma. This is for like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, Maiden, anything. This deck can't handle a lot of high attack monsters, but there's ways to get around it with Mole. 1 Patrician of Darkness. So if you have this and Mole, and you have Zombie World wants to get into, if they attack your Patrician, you can straight go to Grand Mole, so then it would bounce right back to the hand. Pretty good. 1 Raiden. You guys are going to mill 4 cards, and it gains 200 for each Lightsworn used in the main phase. 3 Shadow Vampire. This, when it is normal summoned or special, normal summon, you can special summon 1 Dark Vampire from your hand or deck, except for itself. And only that monster can attack for the rest of the turn. And it can only XYZ for a dark monster, or XYZ, which kind of sucks. 1 Vampire Lord. When this inflicts battle damage, declare 1 type monster, spell, or trap, and your opponent sends it to the grave. I would recommend not using monsters, because if they're doing a mirror match and you say monster, they could quickly pitch Mizuki, or maybe a zombie master, so then they can set up for next turn. So I recommend either using spells, not traps, because a breakthrough skill could potentially hurt this deck, so mainly using spells would probably be the best. 1 Vampire Sorcerer. When this card is sent to the field to the graveyard by battle or by card effect, you can add 1 Dark Vampire from your deck, and you can banish it to normal summon a level 5 or higher. I think it's level 5 or higher. Just, without tributing. So yeah. 1 Zombie Master. So if you might need another vampire, you can just get back Sorcerer. Maybe you can use Dark Hole, clear the field, and then add another vampire. And it's easy for pitching, maybe for Mizuki. Pitch Mizuki. Easy. 1 Allure of Darkness, just for some draw power. 1 Book of Life. So same effect as Zombie Master, but your opponent needs to have a monster in their grave to banish, then you special summon. 1 Dark Hole, so if you may need to use Book of Life, or you have like 2 or 3 Mizuki set, just use Book of Life, clear the board, and then go on from there. Foolish Barrel, to pitch maybe Mizuki or Vampire Sorcerer to easily summon. 1 MST, just for field, same as Lila. 2 Vampire Kingdoms. Zombie type monsters gain 500 attack only during the damage calculation. So if I would summon Mizuki, it's not 17 until I would be damaged. So that's a little difficult on ruling there, but it's okay. But when once per turn, when a card is sent from your opponent's deck field or deck to the graveyard, so if you would use Vampire Lord's effect, you can send one vampire monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that target. So, yeah. Just there for the vampire conjunction and with the gaining 500, so that's pretty good. One zombie world, this is to make everything zombie on the field and in the graveyard, and your opponent cannot tribute summon monsters that are not zombie, because it doesn't affect in the hand. So I pretty much locked down any monarch deck, even though it's not really meta, or probably tier 4 probably, but it's always good to have just in case, if you never know. One bottomless, one breakthrough skill, so if your opponent uses MST or something, can easily still use that just in case. Compulse, 2 magic cylinder just for game changers, so if your opponent attacks with something, you can easily make your opponent really not trusting in the field and make them more lenient on what they do. And one scrap iron scarecrow, so if your opponent has something like I said, you can't handle, you always use scrap iron to stop it, so that's nice. XYZs, one Adrius, so like I said, there's other ways to get rid of cards. Pop it, really good. One Crimson Knight Vampire Bram. Now, I only put this at 2 instead of 3 because you don't know what your opponent is running. So you detach, target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon to your side of the field, and that card can only attack for the entire turn. And once per turn during the next time phase of your next turn after this card was destroyed by an opponent's monster effect, special summon it from the grave and face up defense position. So always have a monster on board. Really good. One emerald just for the graveyard manipulation. That's really nice. One Gaia Cowboy to steal games. One Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger, just for your opponent maybe setting monsters, just attack it, do inflict. Tachi Kochi Dragon, I always try to use this card. This is not as good as Blackluster Soldier, but it's really nice to have. Just attack, and if it destroys, detach and attack again. So that's nice. Almost like a Blade Armor Ninja, but you do this after it gets destroyed, not before. So that's good. Evolve a Chain, just to pitch to the graveyard for Mizuki or any zombie, and then just to add it to the hand. Number 32, Shark Drake, just for extra damage. Volcasaurus, same as Adrius, but you inflict effect damage equal to the face-up monster's attack. Master Key Beetle, you do run significantly a lot of darks, and if not, you could always use, like Zombie Master, Pitch, Mizuki, Summon out, Vampire Sorcerer. Make Key Beetle and make Key Beetle lock. I think you need one more to make the lock, but yeah. Heraldry Crest, just put this in here. So if your opponent runs XYZs just as much as you do, just to know. Crazy Box, 3000 attack. It can attack, but 3000 attack, it's a little difficult to get over. Blue Eyes would have to point for point, and you can go ham with all these effects. Steel Swarm, just in case if Maiden becomes a problem, summon out Roach and deal with it. And Tyrus, Keeper of Genesis, just for back row hate. Other cards would be BLS, because you do run 6 lights, but you mill. If you can get out successfully 2 of them, you can mill over 7 cards per turn. That's pretty much a good chunk of your deck right into the grave. Then you can use Mizuki. Mizuki's so broken. Bone Crusher. This card I don't see a lot in play anywhere, but when it special summons from the grave by an effect of a zombie type monster, so pretty much Zombie Master or Mizuki would be a nice one. You can destroy one or target one card on your opponent's side of the field, destroy a target, and at the end phase, or then the end phase it would be destroyed. So yeah. Card Turbo for some more milling. Fear Sorcerer, Dark Death Spirit. You know, it is a zombie, so you could pretty much send it to the grave by maybe Zombie Master's effect, then use Mizuki, or not Mizuki because it can't be special. You fail. But you know, you could always play around with it and make your opponent scared. Goblin Zombie, I don't run this because of Dark Worlds. They use mind control on it, or they could, and it can totally mess you up, so you don't get the effect off. Red Eye just for an attack. Raikou, you know, same effect. More hate with the back row, and just send 3 more. Extra Zombie Master and Book of Life. Book of Moon, Barrel from a Different Dimension. So if you banish all 3 of your Mizukis, or maybe 2 of your sorcerers or something, back to the grave, effect, and keep on going. 1 Magical Stone Excavation. This card, you discard 2 cards, then add 1 spell. So if you already used maybe both your Zombie Worlds or Lure of Darkness, or maybe even Dark Color Foolish, one of the ones, you can always use that. You discard 2, so you can discard maybe 2 Mizukis or something to help you out, so that's really nice. And then an extra MST. Other cards you could use. Plague Spreader came at 3. I totally forgot the zombie spam of all this. I don't run this because, like I said, I only run XYZs, but if you feel you can use this effectively, go on ahead. I just don't run it because it's not, I don't say it's good, but I don't really synchro summon in this deck, so that's not the way to go. Oops, yeah. Any other zombie types you want to use? There is Ill Blood I had in here, but I kept on getting too slow for this deck, so I just took them out. Paladin of the Cursed Dragon became too slow for this deck. A lot of these cards in here were too slow for the deck, and I had to keep going. Vampire Duke, I don't think he's very effective in this deck, but I think he's just a rare, so, or a normal card, I think. So you can easily just keep on, or if you need something to, maybe you don't have all 3 Shadow Vampires, you can always use him instead to keep on trucking. Vampire Genesis, I only put 1 before, but then it kept on getting a little too slow, or I only put in 1, so it didn't work. Vampire Grace doesn't really help, and it's not a level 5, I think it's level 7, so it became difficult for me to XYZ. And then Zombie Mammoth, this card, so destroy this card if you don't have a zombie type monster in your grave, and inflict damage to yourself. Or you could use Creature Swap, and that could help you with that. And I just remembered this Zombie Sign. You could run this if Vampire Genesis. If you have Vampire Genesis, I'm pretty sure that's still level 8. So if you feel you want to go of a vampire more than a zombie, like a Zombie Master, Mizuki type thing, you can always go to Genesis, and maybe you can go with the Zombie Stein. You know, whatever This deck is very flexible with what you can put in. Like, you could take out all the Lilas or Raiden because they're not out yet. No, put in something else. Or you could just take out the Raidens and put in some more Raikos. The reason I put in Raiden was because you can mill so many cards in one turn. So if you had Raiden and Lila, you could possibly mill 7 cards in one turn. I'm pretty sure I said that. But that's pretty good with getting your zombies into the grave. 7 cards, like I said, out of 40, that's a good chunk of your deck. Plus 6 or 7 because of you had to summon 2, so 7 cards. That's really good effect. I don't know. I think zombies are not. They're not. They're not overrated because of the effects of Mizuki and Plague Spreader. But they're just so underrated with the fact that they get support, but it's not like a wind-up thing, like how Dino Rabbit or Rescue Rabbit, whatever, with Dolka and Logia. Those were so overrated. But then zombies only get very minimal support, but can help them very much. So guys, that is the end of this video. I want to say thank you for all the views so far. I really appreciate it, and I hope to do some dueling with this deck or any of the other decks I have to show you how to use them or how to effectively or get them to really go off and go on, like my Lightsworn OTK. I dueled yesterday. When I put that up, I've edited it more, so it's a little bit more effective. So it's really good. I'll probably post that maybe Sunday. So, signing out.